Matt Shipman, got anything to bring forth?
I have a couple things, one of which is, mainly Scott's going to talk about is, we have been talking about what to do potentially with respect to kind of a point of sale ordinance, it was called initially. Scott did a really good job of kind of sampling with the local realtors and attorneys and sending out and getting feedback. And he's come back today with really, it's kind of a disclosure, I would call it, that seemed to be something that maybe was a good first step in tackling this issue without biting off maybe more than we could chew, and then we can see where we go from there. It does kind of draw everyone's attention to the potential that, it's something that you should be considering. I've looked at it. I think it's good. It's actually pretty modeled off of what Fort Wayne did. Fort Wayne did the same thing. They did spend a bunch of time studying it, and then ultimately this is what they kind of came up with. And from what I've heard, it's worked pretty well so far for them. So that would be the first thing. The other thing is on the agenda is my contract for the year. I apologize I didn't get that to the first meeting, but it's better. I think it was July last year when I finally remembered, or when Janet told me I needed to do it. So I'm getting better. The only thing that's different from before is after doing this for 3 years or so, I tried to, there's a little increase in there. It is the same increase that the Drainage Board adopted this morning. And Tom said he had a big speech for me about it that he was going to save for this afternoon, but that's the only other thing I have, unless you guys have questions for me.
Okay.
Other than we are not having a sewer meeting
Right.
tomorrow, I'm sure I'm going to get asked that question,
Right.
so we'll just let everybody know at least
Yep.
that we're not having one tomorrow because of conferences and things. People are going to be,
Yep.
we don't have a quorum, so we're not
Just don't
having.
have anybody.
Yep.
Okay. What's the board's feeling on the contract?
Mr. President, I move we approve the contract as presented to us
Okay.
for the year 2020.
Okay. Have a motion on the floor?
I'll second.
Have a motion, a second, discussion. All in favor of the contract as presented, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Guess you got to stay.
I'm happy to stay. I've enjoyed it, and I continue to enjoy working with you guys. I don't have anything else.
Are these of any importance, really?
Oh, yeah. Just mark them out.
Just, he said just mark them out. Just mark them out.
Okay.
At the time that I did it.
Let's do
that's
that,
where we
yeah.
were.
No,
That's where we were.
that's what I thought. And
Okay. Sure.
And it's my understanding that our long time of going through the process of a terminated employee a few years ago is coming to an end pretty soon.
Correct. So that has been resolved. I just talked actually to the sheriff a little bit before the meeting about it. And the insurance company has decided that in their mind it makes some sense to resolve that McKinney lawsuit. So I think it's in principle been resolved, and pen to paper will happen shortly.
Okay.
From the county's perspective, the way your insurance coverage works, you spent the money that you were going to spend a long time ago. The money that ultimately went to settle it is all insurance money.
All insurance, okay. That's great. That's great, okay. Anything else, Matt?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. Becky? Fourth quarter voucher approval?
Yes. So I just need one signature for the fourth quarter voucher for 2019. We were able to claim all the remaining funds that were in our grant, which was $50,940. It's already sent to NDOT to make sure all the information was accurate and correct, so they're just waiting.
Okay.
So, and here is the form.
Okay. We'll need a motion to approve the,
I'll make a motion to approve the fourth quarter voucher.
it's a
I'll
single,
second.
it's a single,
With also with having the chairman sign for the commissioners.
I'll second that motion.
we have a motion on the floor to approve or sign the thing with the chairman signing, so. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign.
And I thought I might leave you alone for a little bit, but I think my band's coming in next month, so I'll be back.
Okay. Good. Was that one you weren't thinking until fall, or?
No, we had the accident with the one vehicle, and this is the replacement vehicle is
Oh, I see.
coming in.
Okay,
So,
Okay.
we got the insurance money for it, so now we just have to wait for the new one to come, and then,
gotcha.
so end of February, they're telling me at this point, so I'll
Yeah.
have lots more paperwork again.
Sounds good. Okay, well, it should be a notification there. You get that back then?
Yeah, I need that back, and then I'll
Okay.
send you a copy of it. Alrighty, and let me know if there's anything that you need from me. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Thank you, have a great day. Scott Wagner, sales disclosure topic and automobile repairs and cleanup properties.
So as Matt had discussed earlier, I've talked to several realtors, attorney firm, and a couple other people, and they thought that that'd be a lot to take on right away, especially since we don't have ability to certify inspectors. There's no state or, special certification for that the state runs or anything for inspectors. So took their disclosure form, kind of made it our own. Also, we eliminated any wording concerning the health department certifying inspectors. So we took all that out, added some questions that they had. So as you can see, we added some questions about, is there a septic permit on file? Has it been located and marked? Is there any repairs since you purchased it, and has it been pumped, and things like that. So that way the buyer has some recollection or some notification of what's going on with the septic. Most of the time I get calls from people that buy a property, they have no idea where the tank is, let alone what exists. Or they have a failure right away when they move in, and then are upset that they were not notified about anything. So this should address a lot of that. The next question is, we would need to put this in some type of ordinance if you want this to be mandated for use in Whitley County, or if you just want to send this out to the companies and say, use at your will, or what, I mean, it's up to you guys.
So you're saying teeth or no teeth?
Exactly.
Okay.
And I don't know what kind of administration we would need to have in the ordinance regarding use of this or not use of that. Depends on how tough you want to make this or
Penalties and
not.
things like that if you don't.
Sorry.
I
You'd
think-
have to have penalties and things like that associated with
Yeah.
them.
Why do it if we're not going to
Yeah.
stand behind it? That would be.
I don't know if that's something we want to get into or not.
I think we need to.
I do too. I mean, obviously coming from the regional sewer district side, I mean, we are trying to eliminate failed septic systems. And I think a buyer of a home deserves to know what shape it's in.
So I think the next step would be to have Matt and I draft an ordinance that talks about when this has to be used and
Yep.
what circumstances. Whether we want to include just home sales or transfers of property or purchases from
Sheriff's sale.
sheriff sales, things like that. So there is a wide gamut there we need to cover, and then add into that restrictions or enforcement on that as well. So that would be the next step, if you think everything looks pretty decent on the form now. So
I don't have a problem with it, but I think you need to go farther
Okay.
with it. And you'll have to get down to fees and fines and stuff.
Right.
to-
And we can just draw that from the existing septic ordinance. I mean,
Okay.
that way it's consistent across the board, so.
Yeah, okay. There appears to be a line here, is that,
Yeah, I think we'll adjust it up when we bring the ordinance back with this.
that line doesn't mean anything. 'Cause it didn't say anybody had to sign it right there, so,
No.
okay.
I think this is good, since we've been designated as an MS4 entity, that we just need to, that shows that we're going forward with
I agree,
taking care of,
I agree, I think we have to.
waters.
But again, I'm trying to look out for the home buyers, that they don't get something that they weren't aware of, so.
This doesn't stop somebody from buying a property that is illegal or failing. They can still buy it if they wish. They just become responsible for it,
Sure,
so.
sure, I guess that's reasonable if you want to be responsible.
Yeah, I mean, technically, when you do a sales disclosure form in the state of Indiana, you're supposed to disclose these things already. So the problem is that most people say, well, I don't know, the toilet flushes, I'm sure it's fine. And in reality, most of the time, they do know that there's an issue. But the way the law works in Indiana is you can't necessarily hold somebody accountable for, unless it's intentional fraud, for misrepresenting a sales disclosure form. So this kind of gives that an extra layer of shielding the people that say, well, that turn the other way and say, I don't know. They're not going to be able to necessarily do that anymore. The question I would have as Scott and I work on that is the penalty. Do you want the penalty to be a deterrent? In other words, steep, or do you want the penalty to be at the outset more of it'll get people's attention, but it's not, because I mean, if the penalty is not enough, then people that know they have an issue will just pay the penalty if it gets raised. But if it's too much, then there's no right answer. But that's, I think, as we try to figure out how to do this, that's what we'll have to balance, is how much is enough and how much is too much.
Would there be any follow-up on this then? I guess what my thought is a small penalty to start, and if you've got follow-up and nobody does anything, if it's illegal, then would be a larger
It could be a
penalty.
per day or per day fine.
Per
So-
day, yeah.
Yeah, so the quicker they resolve it, the cheaper it would be for them.
Well, the problem
who's
is,
gonna
if
enforce
it
it?
happens post-transaction, then we don't have the ability to
We would write that in
undo.
the ordinance that the health department would enforce it, so.
Yeah.
Do you see
You
that being
need
an
some more
issue?
jobs?
I don't, depends on the compliance. I mean, if people are compliant and they start agreeing to this, and hopefully just, it's a generational thing, once they start realizing, hey, we're gonna sell our old farmhouse, we probably need to upgrade the septic system. You start getting that in the mindset, that's not gonna even become reality anymore for this. I think that it won't overburden us right now.
Okay.
But again, like I said, they can buy it as is, so you've got to tell them, there's no permit on file, hey, there's a ditch within 20 feet of the house, it probably goes right there. They can still buy it, they can still be illegal. I can only do my best to advise them.
Yeah.
The ordinance would take a step further and mandate it, but I don't know, again, that we even have the logistics and process to even be able to handle that load, so.
Which leads to the question of if somebody says, the scenario he just said, where, it goes to the ditch, Scott tells them, hey, it's not compliant, can that sale still happen as long as the buyer and seller know? Or are we making that a finable transaction? That's the issue, that's kind of what I was hinting at before, is do you want to prohibit, which gets us back to really where we started, which you're,
I think if it's going to an open ditch, we need to take care of it right then. If we know about it, we can't just let it go.
well, and the problem is we don't, Scott has a pretty good idea,
Yeah, exactly.
but unless he goes out to every one of these houses and
That would
puts
require
a
more
camera
personnel.
in and waits till it comes out in the ditch, I mean, you could probably sample it and figure it out, but, I mean, you're not gonna know, kind of. Because a lot of them run into an old field tile and then run through a field and.
Yeah, I think common sense will probably rule in favor for us here. Just because we're not gonna accept a home with another $15,000 on top of it that they'll have to spend for septics. The issue we might get into is transfers or share of sales and things and how we enforce those. But most home sales, from what I hear, most people talk to me, they're grateful for the information and they don't proceed if they can't get that resolved, so.
Yeah. Then what happens to those properties? Then that becomes the side effect, right? Is then grandma's house just sits and then now you've got a vacant property.
There's a lot of country homes that are this way.
I'm sure.
A lot.
A lot, probably. Most houses that are more than 50 years old are this way, probably.
When there's a parcel split, I do send letters to those homes where the parcel's been split off. Example, an older farmhouse is split off from their 80 acres. They will get a letter letting them know that we do not have a septic permit on file, and then more than likely their septic becomes illegal once the transaction occurs. But again, I'm not telling them at that point they have to. We could do that. Steuben County does that, but we haven't done that yet. We just informed them.
Can I ask a question? May I?
Yes.
How did you sell your home? Did you disclose that your septic was bad?
I actually put in a new septic system before I sold my old farmhouse.
Okay, because we had several hunters that used to hunt out your way, and they could smell it, and they wondered what you did.
They couldn't smell mine because mine was leaking from the septic tank next to the tree in the sand, so.
Saying what they
It
said.
wasn't me. But yes, I fixed my septic system before I sold the house.
Okay.
Yep. Because I knew I'd have to. Because when I bought it, being 100 years old, there was no file for it or nothing, but.
Another thing too, if I may, if you're selling your house and you know there is something wrong with your septic, and you tell, I believe in total disclosure, because anyway, septic, other problems. But if you tell the people that are going to buy it, and they say, well, or you say, hey, if it's going to cost $15,000, $20,000, you want to buy it like it is. Okay.
That's what we'd have to figure out. I mean, because that,
I mean, it's something to think about.
But then, does the person fix it, or do they pocket the money, And if the goal is to make them fix it, then does that accomplish it? That's the stuff we'll still have to flesh out.
And we could never get in between that. I mean, if you're saying, well, you take 20,000 less, that's how.
I mean, we couldn't tell them they couldn't do it.
No, that's out of our
There could be a
bailiwick.
penalty ultimately if we know that it's going to a ditch. And then that's where you get into a violation potentially.
I think the program has merit, it just needs massaged.
I think this is a good first step,
Yeah.
just so buyers are aware. And if we discover in the process of implementing this in the next 3-4 years, if the state doesn't do anything, then we can bring it back and say it needs more work, or we need to do more enforcement, or whatever might be the case.
That's how I see it too, is let's this.
Can you
take the
guys
first
work
step.
together on
Yeah,
this
we will.
ordinance?
And
Okay.
then we're probably gonna have to tweak it a couple
Table it
times.
then?
but-
Table it to give them time to work on the ordinance?
Yeah, I'd make a motion that we table.
Okay, I have a motion that we table until they have a chance to work on the ordinance.
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign.
So a completely different subject on the idea of fleet management. We made a list of about, 14 places, service places within Columbia City area. We sent that out with a letter that Jennifer tweaked and I tweaked a little bit about offering discounts to the county for vehicle repair and servicing. We sent that out about 10 days ago. I have received one email with more questions, what this meant and things like that. So I haven't, other than that, that's all I've received at this time. Don went ahead and signed it and sent it out. I thought it looked pretty good, so
Okay, we'll just let that,
see what happens with that.
yep, okay. Thank you.
Back in November, we talked about a house at the corner of 700 North and 350 West, sorry, 750 North and 350 West. by Tom Rethick's house, the complaint. Had court on Friday. It was delayed because the attorney couldn't be there. We're trying to do a plea on that. Our argument is still that it needs to be tore down. Whether they'll agree to that or not, I don't know. We're still waiting on that. I know that they called Tom and called me again. I'm like, it's in court, Tom. I can't do anything faster.
Right.
But we're still pursuing it to be completely tore down and cleaned up.
Did they determine there were rats on the property?
We hired Orkin and we did find a rat that was in one of the
Yeah,
traps.
okay.
So
So,
the neighbors were telling the truth. So.
yep,
What
okay.
about the rest of the buildings that are there?
So our the request that we got from, I think, All Pro Towing, they also do demolitions, was for $14,000, and that was to tear down every building. They were going to leave the concrete driveway in the water well, since there's sanitary sewer
It
there.
was every building.
It was every building.
Okay.
The pole barn in the back, at one time it had methamphetamine. It was cleaned. I was approached by a third party wanting to buy that property from this company, and I told them that they could keep that building if they wanted to, but the county was going to tear down everything if we got a hold of it. So hopefully within a month we have this taken care of. So, and the last thing is we have a property on Scheckler Road that we got a court order for. I have not received the court order in writing yet, but I will be sending bids out for that cleanup. It should be fairly small. And when I get bids, if I get bids, I'll bring it back to the commissioner.
This is a drunken trash ordinance on the Scheckler Road.
Correct.
Okay.
So those are two outstanding ones right now.
Okay,
Any other thing for me?
oh, thank you very much.
We took purchase of the vehicle, Don and I did. We got it with 20 miles on it. It's got about 100 now on it, so I'm trying to drive it around. We already have a invoice signed for a topper and for a bed liner on that, so the materials we put in there don't slide around. So, and I will get a storage unit reserved for the 1st of March, so when we can take possession of the trailer, we can store inside. So.
Yeah, I really feel comfortable with what you got, because now it's not going to be underrated.
No,
It'll do the job that we really needed to do, so thanks. And somewhere down the line, we talked about rental space for the trailer.
Right, I'm gonna get a place reserved for March 1st.
Okay,
On from that point.
Okay.
So.
all right, thank you. Any questions of Scott? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Brandon Forrester, Highway Department update. And I think you're gonna talk about the bids you received, right?
We did.
Good enough, thank you.
2 weeks ago, we received bids for annual major supplies for the highway department. I sent you out a bid tab for each item and all of the bidders. And I would recommend that you accept all bids except for the fixed price fuel bids.
Okay,
Or answer any questions you might have on some of the bids or bidders.
you wanna have questions of Brandon?
I move we accept all the bid prices except for the fixed price fuel bid.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve the bid without the fixed price.
I'll second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, the same sign. Personally, I think it's smart business to do it that way. That really gives you a lot more latitude, so. Okay, thank you, Brian.
Yep, thank you. Next, it is the month of community crossings application period, and been working prior to, but to the point we need to upload a financial commitment. And basically, I've applied for 2 projects. One is for 2-inch overlay similar to the lakes, but actually some county roads that we chip sealed 2016, 2017, basically just to save them from falling apart. And so they're not falling apart, but they're very rough and highly traveled. And so part of the overlay project would work on 350 west, 200 east, 150 east, 300 east. And the other part of that project is some old subdivisions up Conrad Court, Malcolm Court, Virginia Avenue. Doing an overlay on those. The pavements are just old and deteriorated. So that's one project. The other project is for 2 miles of gravel road conversion to chip seal. It's the intention to actually do more than just 2 miles, but based on NDOT's interpretation of what a project is and public purchasing laws, the 2 miles, the total project cost, in my estimation, for labor, equipment, and material, $242,592.14, and we can't do a public work project for more than $250,000.
Yep.
So even though it's 2 non-contiguous miles of road, need to keep it under 250. So, and couldn't add a 3rd mile or half mile.
Right.
Those are the 2 projects I've got going for this year. The total for our commitment is $386,336.35. And if we were to get both awards, we would receive $983,615.59 from NDOT for community crossing. So they're pretty adamant. They want a commissioner to sign, or a mayor, or a town council chairman. So I've set these up to have Chairman Amber sign if you so desire.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor.
I'd make a motion to approve Commissioner Amber to sign the financial commitment letter for the NDOT.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion, a second on the floor. Further discussion?
Brandon, do you have any idea when they'd be awarding these?
The application period closes on February 7th, I believe, Friday. And so it would probably be towards the end of March, first part of April is what I've heard, but it depends on how many applications they get, to be honest.
All right.
This is their first year, they're gonna do 2 sessions, right? Or did they do?
They did 2 last year.
Oh, they did 2 last year, okay.
Yes. I did not
Okay.
apply for the second.
Yeah, got it, okay. We have a motion, a second on the floor, right? All in favor of myself signing the commitment letter, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign, thank you.
Now, related to that, I'm not asking no signatures, just an update. We cannot this all has to be bid. So we'll have to take bids for the paving, and we'll have to take bids for the material that goes into the gravel road conversion projects. And I am working on the bid specs and the notice to bidders, and we'll have to advertise that. Right now, I've got it tentatively set up to receive bids on June 1st, so that'll be determined. We'll do that as quickly as we can after we receive the award.
So you don't foresee the bids being much different than the bids we already took 2 weeks ago, do you?
Probably not.
Just formality.
It's NDOT's interpretation of the statute that we cannot use annual bids for community crossings projects.
Okay.
That's crazy, okay. Okay, any other questions for Brandon?
Okay, so on bids, we have money appropriated for, we have equipment, excuse me, replacement plan that includes purchase of a new four-wheel front-end loader for this year. So Kevin and I, we've looked at other miscellaneous suppliers or providers in the area for different brands of loaders and put together specs. And we have, because we estimate that it could be over 150,000, we have to take bids, advertise, and so we've got a notice to bidders. If you would so choose, we can get that advertised, and as I've got it set now, receive bids on February 17th.
Okay. Need a motion to approve the notice to bidders for the purchase of a 3.5 cubic yard four-wheel drive loader.
So move, we approve that notice.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Thank you, man.
Just for the public, the bids have to be back in by February 17th.
Thanks, sir. Thank you. You ready for these?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Anything else for us today?
I believe there's two right-of-way.
Permits? Okay. Okay. I think I did see permits somewhere. Okay, thank you. All right, we have two permits to deal with. First one would take place at 4690 West Lincoln Way. It's from CenturyLink. They would bore approximately 30 feet across Lincoln Way from the pedestal to a house.
Move, we approve it.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion is approved in a second. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign.
I have a second one from NIPSCO at 3999 North 50 West to bore gas line for a new home.
I'd make a motion we approve as presented.
Mr. Chairman, just so you know, there's two plan sheets for this NIPSCO permit. The one that they submitted for right-of-way was different than the one that they submitted for drainage board approval. So I included a copy of the plan from the drainage board submittal, because basically that says that there's a county drain there. You have to bore that 6 foot below the bottom of the ditch, and you have to notify engineering before you do it. So if for some reason they didn't have that note on the
Okay.
right-of-way, so
But that's a part of it.
it's part of the
Okay.
approval.
Okay. What do we have? We have motion and a second? Okay, no other discussion. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Thank you. The signatures are on that one. like all the signatures are on that one. Yeah. Anything else, Brad?
Nothing from me unless you have anything for me.
Just want to say thank you, Saturday morning, getting out early and getting things taken care of before it got to be a mess. We appreciate that.
I said it was like pushing water.
Pushing water.
Yeah,
It was
Yeah, I
heavy.
bet it was.
kind of a mess, so yeah, it turned out good. Well,
Well, let them know we appreciate it.
all right, thank you.
Yep, thank you. At this point, I'm gonna, Mary, can we talk about this appointment thing? Thank you. And it's not an appointment thing, I apologize, that's
Oh, no, that's fine.
poor verbiage, but you're needing an appointment?
Correct. Don Langlow has served for 16 years, and his appointment is up May 17th of 2020. So, in the past, what I've done when somebody has resigned or retired, for example, with the council, is I went ahead and put an ad in the paper and on our website to get people that were interested in serving on the board. I collected that information and then gave it to the council for them to make an appointment. However, if you already have somebody in mind, I don't have to do that. I just wanted to know how you wanted me to proceed.
And can Mr. Langlo not go again?
He's served 16 years, so he needs to be off for a term, which is 4 years.
I think that's what we needed to know.
Okay.
You have a term limit.
Correct.
Okay. I think that's because I think he'd like to stay on,
I think
but
you
it's
would
a
too.
term limit thing.
And we'd love to have him, but
Sure. And I guess from our perspective, we don't have anybody in mind, right?
No.
okay. So
So
you're
we're
okay if I go ahead?
open.
Yes.
Okay.
We're kind of hoping you'll come up with someone that will fit your needs and let us know.
Oh, sure.
And it's a council appointment or a commissioner
It's a
appointment?
commissioner's appointment. I actually am losing 3 board members this year, one from the school board, that's the appointing authority, one from the commissioners, that is the appointing authority, and then one from the council, which is an appointing authority,
And that's county council?
county
County
council.
council. Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Mary.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate it. I thought
Thanks,
better
Mary.
get you in there while we were thinking about it. Okay, at this time, I would like to suspend our commissioner meeting and open up the Board of Finance annual meeting. Here she comes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So do you have copies?
For the public, this is a meeting that's mandated every year in January. We have to meet as the Board of Finance. That's why we suspended the commissioner meeting. We're opening the Board of Finance meeting at this time, of which I'm president, but won't stay there forever, so. Okay, go ahead.
So you have the minutes from last year?
All right, at this time, if you've had a chance to review the minutes, I'd entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'd make a motion to approve the Board of Finance for Whitley County, January 22nd, 2019 meeting minutes as presented.
Second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Does it make any difference which one I sign, or can I just sign one?
I have the original.
Original, okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. At this time, I would open the floor for nominations of president. Anybody want to nominate a president?
I'll make a motion that we approve Tom Western as president.
I have a motion, I'd second that motion. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Thank you, Tom. You can take over, Tom.
At this time, we need a motion for the secretary of the Board of Finance.
I'd nominate Laurell Schroeder as secretary.
I'll second.
Moving second, Laurell be the secretary of the said board. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same. Congratulations, we have a winner. Okay, we'll turn it over to you. Do you have
Well,
a speech?
we can talk about the proposed statement of investment policy. It's basically the same as the previous year, so no changes except for the dates. If you have any questions, I'd be
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the investment policy dated January 21, 2020, as presented.
I'll second.
Been moved in second. We approve the policy that's presented to us. Is there any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll raise your right hand in favor.
Thank you.
Opposed, is the same. All right.
So the little spreadsheet that I included was about 2019 interest earned. And then the second half of the page is the interest paid to funds out of the total interest money. So we pay some funds their interest. So that's what we paid out. And the second spreadsheet is our current certificates of deposits, or CDs. It also has the history of the last few years on there. I like to look at what the interest rate has done over the last 4 years. And then I made up another little spreadsheet that kind of shows in the last 7 years what our interest has done.
Much better.
I'm kind of excited about it.
Well, wow, you're getting better.
Yeah.
I didn't think that kind of interest was out there.
It isn't anymore.
You have to go look for it?
It was last year at this time. See,
Okay, okay.
I got a CD last year in February that paid that 2.92
Wow.
for 12 months, but you can see that I just got one in November and it was already down a whole point. It was already down to 1.90.
Yeah, that's,
So it's dropping.
for the public, our interest in 2019, interest earned was $509,007. That's terrific when compared to 2013 when it was $24,400. Good work on that one, Laurel.
But I'd like to take all the credit, but, you know, the rates and the amount of funds available makes quite a difference.
Is there anything else we need to be brought up at our Board of Finance meeting?
I don't, unless you have any questions for me.
Well,
Did you
we
guys
appreciate
pass?
what you do.
Did you guys actually adopt the investment policy? Maybe-
Pardon me?
Okay, never mind. Did you never mind. I didn't think you would pass the policy, but did you?
Thought we had.
Ignore me.
Hearing no other questions, I guess we'll adjourn the Board of Finance meeting.
Thank you, Laurel.
You're welcome. thank you.
Okay.
We'll go back to the commissioners' meeting.
We'll reopen the commissioners' meeting. At this time, it looks like we have claims on the agenda. I had a chance to review them. I didn't have any problems with them. We'd be looking for a motion to approve payroll claims and accounts payable claims.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the payroll claims.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the payroll claims. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Thank you. And we need one for the accounts receivable.
I'll make a motion that we approve the accounts receivable claims as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the accounts payable claims. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Thank you. And minutes from actually, we got a couple different. Oh, sorry, get ahead of you. My bad. Okay. We'll take care of business like we're supposed to.
I'd make a motion that we approve the January 6th, 2019 special meeting minutes as presented.
Oh, yes, that would be the bid opening. Okay, we have a motion to approve the January 6th bid opening meeting.
And I'll second that.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Coming back at you. All right. Okay. I'd be, at this time, looking for a motion to approve or amend the January 6th Commissioner meeting.
Mr. President, I move to approve the January 6th minutes as written.
Have a motion to approve,
And I'll second that motion.
and we have a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, the same sign. Cool. Okay. Jennifer? Nothing today? Anything else, Matt?
Nope.
Jan? Commissioner?
I'd like to bring forward, I think Nathan Bilger, who's in our planning building department, has been working on a quote with SDS to upgrade the system, the video system in the basement in room A and B. And you want to explain a little bit, Nathan?
Sure. Mark and I met with SDS back in October and went back and forth on a couple revisions on this quote. This would be the V part of the AV down there. The audio part's already done, so now we're onto the video. The projectors that were mounted on the ceilings back when their building was originally built, they were reaching their life expectancy. Their mounting hardware was coming undone. Maintenance actually removed those during right after Christmas because the one mounting hardware actually just gave out totally.
Jeez.
So they took those down. So the one projector is still good, but you have to use it like any other tabletop projector right now. So as backup, it's going to be kept in reserve until it dies. The other one is already gone. So what this proposal does is, in lieu of projectors and screens, it would put up 2 large screen TVs similar to that one. I believe it's actually the exact same size. Yeah, 75-inch
75
TVs.
inch.
And then there would be 50-inch TV that would be mounted in a corner so that if you know how the table's set up, the person who's at the one end, the far end, wouldn't be able to see the TV that's where the screen is. So this would be at the opposite corner so they could see that. So it'd be 3 new TVs, 2 75-inch, 1 50-inch, as well as all the cabling that needs to happen, replacing the built-in system with the touch panel and stuff with a much simpler, effectively you plug in an HDMI cable and it turn on the TV and it's pretty simple. For better or worse, it doesn't tie into this room like was the original intent, but I don't think that was ever really used very much anyway. So the price comes down to what you see there, just under $6,300, labor included. I will say that that's a little, that should be a little on the conservative side because TVs keep coming down in price. So if there's a sale when they go out and buy it, this may come in under that number as well. So, any questions?
It's ironic, we were talking about this morning, and Don said, "What's the matter with that down there?" Well, it's just been there 20-some
I
years,
did not,
Don.
I thought we had just replaced a bunch of stuff, but you're telling me we did audio.
We did the audio.
We did audio.
Yeah, in order to
Okay.
hold meetings down there.
Yeah.
So that was,
Yeah.
tie that in, and now we're getting the
Yeah,
part.
okay. I looked over the prices, and I think they're very reasonable, for what we're gonna get, so.
I will say one thing that changed during the back and forth. We had originally spec'd comparable sized TVs is what the big one that's down there that EMA had paid for. I think it's an 82-inch or so, and there's a huge jump from 75 to 82. The original quote, I think, was more like 17,000. And that was all because of the size difference.
Oh, wow.
So.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you sat through a planning commission meeting, you'll know it's needed.
Well, I guess I've got to thinking, maybe we could open the doors and have a Super Bowl party down there, just invite people in to watch on 75-inch screens.
Moneymaker, huh?
Oh, yeah, you betcha, yeah, I didn't say free, I just said. So what I think I'm looking for is a motion to approve this, a motion for a favorable pass to I'm still trying to get this through my head. I'm looking for a motion to give this a favorable pass to the council and let them decide where the money should come from.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we give this a favorable pass to the council for approval for funding.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor.
And I'll second that.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. And you can send that on to the council, right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate it.
That's all I have right now.
Anything else, Thomas?
I don't have anything.
The only thing I was going to bring up is in our quest to try to help the population at the jail, one of the things we're looking at right now is to make some changes to the community corrections work release. So my recommendations to the group is that we do not pay for a jail feasibility study at this time. If we want to make a jail, then we do a jail feasibility, but I'd hate to waste the money right now. And waste might be a wrong term, but I don't think this is the time for it. So
And I agree with you. I'm not sure we need a feasibility study, or do we need a needs study? And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
something that we need to look at.
Yeah, and we are kind of in the process of that with the community corrections, so.
Well, I totally agree, because feasibility study would be outdated.
It would be quick, wouldn't it? Would be pretty darn quick, that's for sure. Okay.
So it would be a waste of money.
Yeah, I think so too. Anybody from the public want to speak today? Where did Stanley go? We miss him. Stanley, where did you go? Okay, I haven't sent you that picture yet. I know I haven't, but I'll get it to you. It's pretty darn funny.
If I send you an email, you may be able to reply to it.
Yeah,
And then it might.
yeah, but I got to be home because I got it in the computer at home. So yeah, okay. Nobody from the public want to speak? If not, I'm afraid I'm going to have to entertain a motion to adjourn. Darn.
So moved.
Okay,
Second?
all in favor, leave. Thank you.
So is that the blade that they were trying to bury or something?
No.